So I was digging around in my closet and I found these. These are architectural plans for a house that my wife and I remodeled. This is when we lived in Austin, Texas. We had a small house and we decided that we wanted to add on to it. And these are the architectural drawings that were given to us. And they really capture what the project was in a very easy to understand manner. So if we look at these diagrams, there's only a few pages here. And each of these pages conveys information that was necessary for my wife and I to understand what changes were going to be made, what was going to be built. And then the information is also here so that the people who were doing the work, the contractors, understood what needed to be built. And the architect created these simple diagrams and was able to convey this information. So, just quick run through. Let me bring this over here. So this page is showing how the house looks on the lot. Okay, this next page is the floor plan for the house. The next page, this is what's known as an elevation. This shows people what the style of the house is going to be, what it's going to look like. And then we have another page. This is also an elevation. This is an elevation of what things are going to look like inside the house. Then we have this diagram. This is the information about the foundation. This is a plan of the structure for the new roof. And then the final page is a plan that shows where all of the power outlets are, electricity switches, all of that information that is necessary for the electricians and air conditioning and things of that nature. So with this roll of plans, the architect has been able to simply and clearly identify what the project's going to be in a way that, as the owner of the house, I could understand what was going to be done, and where the actual builders of the house, the actual contractors who did the work, would understand what needed to be done in enough detail that we could all agree on what needed to be done. And we had these plans, these blueprints, to guide us. So that's really neat. And it begs the question that if you're the architect for business software, what do you need to create in order to convey the same level of information to the people for whom you're building the software and to the people who are going to actually build the software? And that's what I want to explore. What plans are necessary in order to be able to convey to the business people and to the programmers enough detail that everyone's on the same page? So the plans that you need for building architecture basically boils down to floor plans and elevations. The floor plan, it shows us the layout of the building. It shows us the purpose of the building. For example, from this floor plan, it's clearly a residential building. We see what activities can take place inside the building. You can sleep, there's a bathroom, there's a kitchen. And then the elevation, well, that establishes the style of the building. That's, the look and feel of the building. The doors and windows of the floor plan and the elevation, they show flow within the building. They show how we can get from the bedroom to the bathroom. They're also very important because the individual rooms are connected by doors and windows. So the doors and windows are very important in showing how the various different rooms of the building relate to each other. And of course, there's a lot more detail that goes into the architectural diagrams, but these are the two basic diagrams, the floor plan and the elevation. So what sort of plan we need to create in order to convey the business software? I'm going to suggest that the two major plans that we need to create are the plans for the business objects and the plans for the business processes. It's necessary to document the objects because the objects are what your business operates on. It's the goods, it's the services, it's the contracts, it's the employees, it's the partners, it's the customers. So it's very important that you capture enough detail so that everybody truly understands what the core objects are that the business software will operate on. Now, the processes are what describe the operations of the business.
The processes describe the relationships between the objects. Just as the doors and windows establish the relationship between the rooms of the building, it's the processes that define the relationships between the objects that make up your business. And of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because there are many more details about the business software architecture that you're going to have to capture and convey. But by starting with the business objects and the business processes, you'll be able to convey the necessary information about the business software to both the business owners of the software and to the developers that create the business software. So in a later video, I'm going to go into this in much more detail. But for now, I think we'll just leave it there. Just as a building architect needs to create floor plans and elevation drawings, as a business software architect, you need to document the business objects and the business processes and use those as the foundation for all of the additional details about the architecture that you will capture and convey. I hope you found that useful, and as always, thanks very much for tuning in. If you found this content interesting, please subscribe, and regardless, have a great day.